This week in our main topic, we're asking which game genres we have grown into and which ones we've quietly grown out of. What changed, us, the games, or both? We're also talking a slew of new releases, including a new obsession and a few surprise picks. And in this week's Pixel Picks Showdown, it's all about those ones that introduced us to greatness as we are crowning the best gateway game. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents Podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents Podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host, Liam Kurt Kelvin, and today I am joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker Curry. How are we, Scott?
I'm very well. I'm better than last week, I must say. I am brimming with energy.
Oh.
Sometimes if you speak things into existence, they come true. No, I'm not brimming with energy. I'm brimming with excitement to talk about video games with you, Liam.
Oh, the games.
I also just want to touch on something very quickly. Derail the podcast nearly a minute in.
There you go. Why not?
Last week I've been listening to the shows religiously, right? It's a bit strange listening to yourself on a podcast, but you can be your own greatest critic. And one thing I've noticed is that you enunciate your name more than ever before.
I have to.
And I think it's because of the subtitles.
It's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. I'm realising that not everybody who listens to the show may be from Bonnie, Scotland. So I'm actually trying my best to make sure I'm pronouncing my T's and not doing the standard Glaswegian thing.
Kelvin, mate.
I can't do it. I can't go full scheme on the podcast. You know,
it's just something I've noticed. Not a critique. I think it's a lovely thing, but
well, you know me. Like,
I've noticed.
My slang is terrible. Like, it's really bad. Like, and it's like a different language. If I'm around like my mum and my sister in particular, even my wife will say like the speed in which you talk is unbelievable. It's borderline Irish, you know. Like,
oh my god,
it's the only way to describe it. So yeah, I am making a conscious effort to slow things down a little bit.
I'm sure the audience thanks you for it.
Yes, I hope they do. Do you know what? I always get a memory to continue the derailment. When we were at university, right, about 1 million years ago, we had the pleasure of doing some kind of radio broadcast stuff as part of the degree, which was cool. And I always remember being in the booth with our lecturer at the time, who we both thought was a bit of a pain in the arse. It was good though, but everything that he was talking about back then, I'm suddenly appreciating. Like how you have to really try and push your voice a little bit when you're talking on podcasts. So yeah, it's a continual effort, and I'm with you. I can hear the difference in both of us if you were to go back and listen to the first couple of episodes now.
Please don't.
Please don't, yeah. It's horrifying. It's night and day, but that's the whole point. You know, we're all on this journey together and making things a little bit better week by week. We managed to get on top of some sound issues we had a couple of weeks ago, which is good. Yeah, we're just going from strength to strength, Scott.
What can I say? Hey, professional podcasters in the podcasting world.
One day. But yeah, bar that, good week though. You said you're full of vitality.
Full of vitality, full of minerals, full of calcium and, vitamin D. It's all about that D.
Mm-hmm. Always.
To be honest with you, I don't really have anything to gripe about. I think I've done pretty well. I had a remit this week, Liam.
Mm-hmm.
A remit with myself, in that I wanted to venture out of the games that I've already been playing.
Yes.
And I'm happy to report that I just haven't done that. Nah, I'm lying. I've played a lot of games that I want to play, and games that I need to play, and games that are there.
Yeah.
So I am very excited to talk about it, and I want to touch on some of my updates for side quests with Scott. I want to I want to talk about November. I want to talk about Julember. I want to talk about
Julember.
October. I want to just get into it, man. I want to
He's
just
making up months.
I want
It's
to just
March.
hands in the head, dive straight into discussing this because I feel like I'm full of
Right, okay.
stuff to talk about.
I'm not going to delay it further. I'll just say I'm good. I'm excited. But before we get into it, let's just get some housekeeping at the road. Right, let's do it. See, the scheme's coming out. But yeah, for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, the weekly podcast by parents who game. For those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming while raising little ones. Now, every Friday you can listen and see your old dad's top video games on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So please subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not there already, so you don't miss our mugs. And if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello, share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky, or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. Finally, if you want to support the show, join our free Patreon so you don't miss an episode, chat with the community, and get bonus shows all for free. That's right, completely gratis. No grift. Apologies to you, Scott, on that one again. But you can get that at patreon.com/Pixel Parents. One more time, patreon.com/Pixel Parents. And if you're not on Patreon, just leave us a wee 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Share it online with your friends. Whatever you do, it really helps us out. And of course, thank you to everybody that continues to join us each and every week. So, all that out the way, Scott. What have you been playing this week?
Oh, it's been a hell of a week. One hell of a week. So let's get all the usual stuff out of the way. Hades 2 continues to impress and continues to deliver more than I dared admit. Baby steps, still making that fucking progress, Liam. I have to touch in every so often. I have to just get in there with Nate and get in about those ass cheeks. And I love it. I'm genuinely growing so fond of this game. It's disgusting.
Halloween costume this year, perhaps?
I don't think I need the costume, to be honest with you. I think we're already there. Maybe grow a wee bit of hair and we can be good on it.
A tight onesie.
Yeah, I've even got the personality to match. The social anxiety to match as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. There was a moment in it where he's like stuck in this pool, like this empty pool. I'll come off in a minute, right? But he's stuck in this empty pool, and one of the guys is like, "I can get you a set of stairs to get out," and he's like, "No, I'll get out," but you literally cannot get out. Like you try and you cannot do it. But he's still in his head. He's just like doesn't want to be a bother. He's just like, "Yeah, just leave it. I'll get out. Don't just leave me." And it's just like, that's me. I do agree with him. Like I would just find my way out or just die, like an old spider. But apart from that, continued on my journey with Lost Eidolon's Veil of the Witch.
Yes.
I would love to talk more about this game, Liam, but I cannot for the life of me begin to talk about it.
Right, okay.
It is so dense in terms of what it's offering so far, in terms of story, in terms of characters. It's brimming with sort of new things constantly. The gameplay loop, so it's a roguelike, but it's a tactical RPG roguelike. So it's basically you move through the map, so you can choose which path you want to take, and then like Hades, you've got your two options, but this one has like 3 branching paths, kind of like Slay the Spire. But then in those, you can either get items, you can get combat encounters, different things, and just working your way through that to try and complete one of the runs is, I'll tell you this, Liam, it's fucking brutal. It is so hard. So I'm just slowly but surely making my way through that. And I'll get there with it. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. It will click, and I will become the man on this, because as we'll get to later on in the show, we're becoming more adept at these kind of titles. And the whole tactical RPG part of it, and the combat and stuff like that as well. It's delivering something more than Fire Emblem. For some reason, it's a lot more. There's a lot more to consider as you're going through it. I feel like Fire Emblem was very much equal sides. You've got about 400 people behind you, and you're going forward, whereas this is like 4 or 5, and you're fuel outnumbered the whole time. So it's solid, like genuinely solid. And I kind of find that if I'm playing that and I get annoyed, baby steps is the tonic,
Mhm.
and then if I get annoyed at that, Hades is the real tonic. I've got a game for review. Um,
Can't talk about it.
originally could talk about it. Now I can't talk about it.
Damn it all.
But I will say this: I finished it
Mhm.
because I had to, and I'm very excited to talk a lot more about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that it's embargoed up until the beginning of November. I think it was November 9th or something like that.
So a couple of weeks then.
So a couple of weeks to go with that, but it's definitely one to keep an eye out on because it's very impressive, very impressive. But let me just make sure. Yeah, November the 3rd. Sorry, so still 2 weeks
Mhm.
in terms of our show. Yeah, so the 7th. Keep an ear out for it. Apart from that, it's been the Switch 2 is still dominating my life, Liam. Still dominating everything.
So good though. Like,
It's the fact that Nintendo have managed to release a competent console is just
that's
beyond
it.
me.
That's it though. It feels so good to play. I remember saying this to you a couple of months ago on here that there's something about it that just encourages you to play games on it. So if something's coming out multi-platform, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm actively looking for a Switch 2 version just now because I just want to. I like holding it. I like
Yeah.
playing things on it. It feels good. Damn. Yeah, I'm so glad you're there with us, man.
I don't think it'll be the replacement for
No, not at all.
certain games, but it's definitely an option. It's
As it's
definitely a place where if I wanted to buy Octopath Traveler Zero, I'm buying it on Switch 2. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
hands
Like,
down.
I'm also, I've also got considerations for Final Fantasy. Every single Final Fantasy game in human history, put that on the Switch 2, so I can just play it
All of them.
constantly. I would do it. But after we finished here last week, you spoke about a wee title,
Mhm.
and I purchased Absalom.
Yes.
With full intention of playing it immediately.
Mhm.
Didn't touch it. Did not touch it, and that is because
Mate,
of
man, just
one game and one game alone.
Mhm.
And that game, Liam, I'm finally excited to talk about it. Is Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilise Chronicles.
done it. He's arrived.
I have arrived. I'm ready for it. I was ready for it. I think that off the back of Fire Emblem and games like that, I was a bit like, I'm excited for this game to be here,
Mhm.
but I done the wrong thing. I bought the Switch when Hades came out, so I was like, this is the Hades machine, and then everything else can die. And I just,
Good move though. Good move.
yeah, I started Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was like, this just isn't where I want to be with this right now. Like, this isn't the first game I want to play on this.
Mhm.
If Hades is, a double espresso, Final Fantasy Tactics is a hot chocolate. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
it's a hand holdy game. It's a nice warm walk on the beach, or a lie on the couch with a blanket over you. It's beautiful. And it feels and looks that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's got this homely look to it in terms of the art style that I love. All the characters look like they're made out of clay, which is very nice. But I played that for a fair bit this week, and I've made, and I say this without jest, Liam, I have made no progress
Really?
at all, simply because I'm just grinding out job points on the
Mm.
same missions, one after another. So I'm just going back in, fighting the same people just to maximize the jobs. So you can get, like, you start off as a squire, and you can basically change your jobs. So you've got, like, archers, you've got medics, you've got knights. Depending on if you level those ones up, then you get other ones like monks, different things like that. Like, if you're
Yeah.
familiar with the Final Fantasy series, you know what these job titles are. But basically, within those jobs, you get job points for every single action that you do. So if you attack someone, you get job points. Um, if you do a spell or something like that, you'll get job points. Shoot someone with an arrow, blah blah blah. Right, but with those job points, you have different upgrades within those jobs that you can get.
Right.
So, for example, this is very technical for 2 minutes into this, right? But for 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 an archer, say one of their upgrades is that they can jump higher than other characters. So you can unlock that and make it a permanent addition to your arsenal if you equip it, and then that can be used on any other job, I believe. Right.
Okay.
So if you want to be a knight with a jumping ability, you can do that. You just have to level it all up. But there is something wired in my brain that
Yeah.
is like, I cannot move forward until I have all these jobs available. Like, until everything is in front of me and I can say, I want to be this and I want to mainline this, I cannot move forward. And I don't know if it's hindering my enjoyment of the game at the moment because I'm not experiencing that story yet. It's very much taking my time with it. And I think that's what I want to do. I don't want to rush this game. I want to just give it the time it deserves because this game's taken forever to come out. Do you know what I mean? So I want to just spend the time and enjoy it. But when I do get these moments of story, playing Final Fantasy Tactics before is great because it's beautifully written and character models and artwork and stuff like that is gorgeous, right? But there is something about a game that didn't have voice acting and now does. That's like it breathes new life into this game. It completely it's watching something in 2D and it becoming 3D right before your very eyes, 4D because you can smell the game. It's just a beautiful experience, and I'm loving every single moment of it. Like legitimately, even just the grinding and stuff. If I'm only playing it for about half an hour, 45 minutes, or a longer toilet break for myself, then I'm knocking out a few fights here and there, and it's genuinely just excellent. Like it's a complete labour of love from Square Enix, and it's something that for it having taken this long to come out and for it to be as good as it is just testament that sometimes these things just take time and you just have to let them cook. And I'm just so excited to. I think the next time I put it on, the next time I boot it up, I'm just going to move on because I have to. I have to start experiencing this story because I am literally just there's a town, a fight, a town, a fight. I'm at the next town. So I'm like 3 towns in. So I'm literally like at the very beginning of the game. But from what I know about the game already, I'm just like, yeah, feed it to me. Throw it directly into this gub and I
That's
will
it.
ingest it all. I cannot wait, man.
Oh man.
And it's just beautiful. Honestly, I've got it. I've got it now, physically. So once it's finished, it will be getting airdropped right to your front door, so you can experience it.
Great
And you
step
can
to
try
take.
and you can try and figure out how the camera works. Because
I'll report
if
back.
I have one gripe,
Mhm.
it's that fucking camera.
Terrible.
We both, Liam, purveyors of triangle strategy.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh,
Spoiled.
probably spoiled by that game. But when you zoomed out, you could see everything,
Yeah.
and you could look. You could have a top down option. I think that's in Fire Emblem as well. You have a top down option where you can see where things are happening. If I have to, you zoom out, and it's like a what's it, like a what's that sort of side on perspective? It's not
Isometric.
isometric, yeah, and it's a diorama, a
Aye.
diarrhea that you know. It just looks handmade. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous,
Yeah.
right? But if I have to move my camera around one more tree and I can't see it anyway, like you'll have 6 blocks, right? One of them's hidden behind a tree, and that's where you want to go. It's an absolute fucking nightmare to get to.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, just make this easier. It's it's so frustrating. And some people would say that's a quirk. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why the game is the way it is. It's like having, it's like having the Resident Evil franchise back in the day and not having those
Tank
kind of
controls.
tank controls,
Yeah.
or having the sort of the backgrounds that change, like this sort of static backgrounds that you run through.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those things that I wish they had just made it simpler or
Mhm.
easy to see it. Give me a different view because it's driving me fucking mental, Liam.
Yeah.
And I can't be the only one. Like I cannot be the only person that's annoyed by this. I might be. I might well fucking be, but it's just very annoying. And that aside, though, it's a complete joy to play, and I am. I'm glad that I'm now vibing with it because
Good.
I was a bit concerned that Hades 2 has literally just come in and bulldozed everything out of the way. Like, I've still got fucking
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Bonanza. I've got Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I've got fucking Absalom on the Switch.
Great.
And I've spoken about, November being the year of the month of Nintendo. So I'm now just committing to the Nintendo Classics online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I want to just play I want to play a classic game that I've not either played or completed. And I'm going to start off with Ocarina of Time. I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah.
kick off 1st of November, Ocarina of Time, and just work my way through because I want to give it some time. But I've just got so many games to play on this fucking device, and it's great. That's what it's there for, man.
Yeah.
It's made the whole. I was saying this to my wife in the car tonight. I was like, it's made it completely worthwhile. Like, I'm not sitting waiting for games.
No.
Is the games are there and I can play them now. And it's made that purchase just completely worthwhile. So,
Yeah.
um,
And they
yeah,
keep coming. That's
they
the
do.
thing. Like, I know you're not you're not a Metroid Prime fan, but there is still a lot more big games to come on Switch soon. There's a lot of third party support, which I'm
Yeah,
surprised by. And even like you talked, not that you would, but even if you felt like it, Final Fantasy VII remake coming out in February on it, it's like having that on the go. It's just options. That's all we're asking for. And you look at, I've not played it, but apparently the port of WWE 2K25 is very good, which gives it hope for other third party games because anything that was annualized used to always, like the FIFA, for example, on the Switch. It was incredible they got away with that for a full generation. But now, it's like, no, this is a legitimate bit of kit now. I mean, it might have power wise, it says it's like a PS4 Pro under the hood, but I mean, it's like a PS4 Pro you're carrying about, which is all
yeah.
we're looking for. Yes, there are more powerful things out there, which we'll come to later, but it's definitely something that's, well worth the money. You used to always joke there's no games on it, but that's the best thing ever, though, when you get it, your hands on it, and you're in the e-store or you're online, wherever you're shopping, and it's like, there's lots of good little games here at decent prices. They're not all
Yeah.
60 quid bad boys, and they have those as well. But, Hades, for example, was like 25 quid. Absalom was less. And there's one other game, Scott, that I'm going to have to add to your list.
I've seen it. I can't, Liam. I just
I'm
can't.
going to have to add it to your list, Scott, because it has ruined the past week for me. I mean, that has destroyed my plans. And I have to tell you a story now, because we are in the throes, in the eye of the storm, approaching the end of silly season, right? This week has been a total bastard for new releases in terms of I want to play everything and I can't. But it's all about what am I going to vibe with most, as we always keep saying, like randomly you could just pick up an old game for the sake of it that you've already beat 5 times, or it could be something brand new you've been looking forward to, right? So I start my week off and I'm continuing to play Ghost of Yoti, and I'm just about finished it, about over 35 hours in at this point. You know yourself when you're approaching the end of the story. I'm very much enjoying it. It's this game that I'm talking about has stopped me beating it, but I'm close, and the plat run will follow. Fantastic time. Go to my Blue Sky to check out some photos on this beauty. I'll give the final score next week. But I was derailed this week by a little game called Ball X Pit, which is
Can
taking
I
over everywhere.
can I say? I think it's been developed. X doesn't. You don't say the X.
Times.
It's you don't say. There's no times either. You just say ball pit.
Ball Pit. There we go then. Right.
It's
Ball
like
Pit, Ball X Pit, Ball times Pit.
Hunter X Hunter is just Hunter. I'm pretty sure.
All right, okay, right. Well,
There you
whatever
go.
we want to do. Ball daft, right? Hundreds of balls.
Ball pit. Ball pit.
Ball Pit, right? We'll call it Ball Pit. But developed by Kenny Sun, published by Devolver, sorry, should I say. Now, this bad boy's everywhere, right? Steam, PS5, Xbox, Switch. There's a Switch 2 version coming in autumn, but I picked it up on the Switch 2, even though it was just a Switch version. Let me tell you, Scott, talks about Absalom. This has become the new obsession. I play this and I'm absolutely loving it because it's a fantastic wee game that understandably has carried a lot of hype online over the past week within the enthusiast circles, shall we say, and I get it. You know, it was actually a friend of the show, Alex, that's put us onto this one because he was talking a lot about it on Blue Sky, and I thought, that man has fine taste, so I better go check this out because I was in the mood for it, and I thought, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And my goodness, you know, listen to him. He knows his stuff. He gives good recommendations. And it's, oh man, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Premise-wise, it's basically like an Arkanoid-inspired roguelike action game, right? So it's a block breaker, and it might also be heroin. I can't quite prove it yet. But it's simple, it's addictive, and it's charming, and it kind of works twofold. So the first part being your main event here, which is the block breaking goodness, right? You're going to continually gain XP as you're going. You're going to gain new abilities or bows to fire at rows of just oncoming enemies or blocks. The second part that's core to this game is this little city builder that you've got within it, where you're going to build your own wee town that you can farm for the resource from, that you're bouncing your guys off of to get the resource. And it all comes together in this deliciously and dangerously addictive loop that's just going to have you constantly saying to yourself, I'll just have one more go. The closest I can kind of get to that feeling was probably like playing something like Balatro. Hades 2 is very different because I can say one more go, but they're quite meaty runs. These runs can last a long time, but you can also have like a crap go and it's like, I'll just do another one. It's got that kind of arcade addictiveness to it. And it's destroyed my plans for other games this week, but I'm so happy about it just because I'm thinking, right, it fits the vibe. Like that's just what I'm interested. I'm sitting down on the Switch 2 and I'm looking forward to getting the full fat version on there. But what we have available, I don't know what they're going to do to improve because of the style of it. It's not like this is something that's, you know, pushing all the latest tech. It's simple. It's kind of old, kind of 8-bit style. Not even 8-bit, but you know, it's that type of old video gamey style, I would say. And it's just a must for any handheld device. You know, whether you're playing on Switch 2 or you've got a Steam Deck and you've got a ROG Xbox Live, whatever you've got, this thing would just be perfect on it. And I insist, Scott, and you're going to hate me for it, but I insist that you pick this up as well because this is the type of game that is going to destroy you. And
that's
I know
the
this.
last thing I need.
I know, but I'm playing this and I'm like, I'm loving this, right? To my veins. And all I'm thinking is, this is Scott will put 100 hours into this. Easy. Like, your toilet breaks will never be yours again. Like, if this was on a mobile phone, forget about it.
I was just going to say to you, is it like Balatro that if it went on mobile, then it's over?
It's just, yes, but also I just don't think it would control as well. You definitely need the sticks, but it's one of those ones, a screenshot doesn't do it justice. You have to get your hands on with it.
I mean, I tell you this, Liam, every single podcast that I've listened to talking about this game echoes the same sentiment, saying it's like they cannot explain why it works or why it's so addictive.
Yeah,
but it's incredible. And when I bought Absalom, I hovered over ball. I hovered over it. I was like,
bop it.
maybe we'll bop it. But I don't know if I can do it yet, Liam. I don't know if I can do it. I want to give Absalom the time it deserves.
I've had to put Absalom to the side for this.
That's disgusting.
I have no regrets because I'm looking at the Switch 2 dock and I'm like, this is all great. It's not like they were all £60 games. It's like, I think I got bought it for about 12 quid or something like that, right? And it was worth every penny. But I do say this with a warning. You will not be able to play anything else by the time you start playing it. And I thoroughly recommend to all the listeners out there, you do need to check it out because you'll get it in PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, as I mentioned, but there's an excitement about this, and I think this is going to be one that's going to gather a lot of speed as we head into Game Awards season. There's a reason why
Game Awards stuff.
A lot of scuttlebutt about it just now.
God,
I've given you
I'll buy it. I'll buy it for next week, right? And I'll give it a go.
Well,
just to get it out of the way.
Because I've got a task, Scott, right? Because just to wrap this bit up here, right? I've also got a list a mile long this week of new games that I am fucking buzzing to play, and I can't get to it because of this stuff thing. But I'm not forcing it. But it was the last of my birthday voucher accruals. went on Jurassic World Evolution 3, right? Big fan of the series, and a poignant thing, though, because I remember when the first one came out and my daughter was just born, and I was absolutely rooked, like trading in stuff. I spoke about it before on the show. To get to the third one now and just kind of look back at all that time that I've had with the kids and stuff like that as well, and how far we've all come as a family, it's something that I'm feeling very appreciative just now. But also the cool thing is you get to breed your own dinosaurs in this. There's baby dinos in it. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. There's a little parental hook in there. So I will get to that this week. And it's again, I'm looking forward to playing with the kids around me. I've done that with the previous ones as well. But not only that, right? We've also got, in this next kind of week cycle before the next episode comes out, The Outer Worlds 2 is going to be landing as well on Game Pass.
When is that? Is that
29th of October, so it's about next Wednesday, I think it is.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden 4's on there already. I'm not going to check that out immediately, but that's there. You know, it's something that's has potential.
I'll play it for next week.
You take that in the chin. Just to report back for dear listeners. But Scott, the game of the year is coming out, and it will be by the time this episode. By the time this episode goes live, people, the game of the year is out, and that is Power Wash Simulator 2. This isn't a sponsored post. This isn't being paid by Big Power Wash, right? I'm telling you, that's out there. PS5, Xbox, and it's on Switch 2 as well. I'm going to be picking this bad boy up on Switch 2 for the exact same reason we talked about, because I want that cozy, chill, religious-like experience on the go, Scott, and I am buzzing. I can't fucking wait. You have no idea.
Honestly,
let it into your life.
I just can't look at you. I can't even look at you while you're.
It's also in Game Pass, and honestly, if you've still got that subscription, and by the way, if you are doing the thing where you're scaling up and scaling down Game Pass, we've talked about it extensively in private. This is probably like the best value couple of months you're going to get before you scale back down. So if you're tempted, take advantage whilst you can, even though it's not going anywhere. But it's good to have fun. And I'm saying this because the game of the year, Power Wash Simulator 2, will be on there. So I'll be back next week with thoughts on that. And I'm hoping, Scott, that you'll join me. Because yes, it will change your life.
I won't join you on that. I'll make a wee note to myself
to play this.
I'm going to play Ball Pit.
Mm-hmm.
Ball Pit. I'm going to play Ninja Gaiden 4. And I'll continue with Final Fantasy Tactics for the people at home.
Madness.
Madness. I will say this, Liam. I will say this now. Expect there to be again another Hades moment, and 100% more baby steps in there, because I'm not kidding, genuinely not kidding, that baby steps could well be my game of this year. A disgusting fact to say out loud, but it absolutely could well be my game of the year this year.
Oh, God. I mean, listen, this is probably going to be the strongest game of the year cycle for indies out there. Might also add that Power Wash Simulator 2 is now self-published. But that counts. It counts, right? So you've got baby steps. You've got, I suppose, Hades 2. You've got, do we count Clair Obscur Expedition 33 in there as well?
As an indie?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, so I mean, it's probably the strongest on record for indie games.
I'd say it's carrying the industry. Like,
absolutely,
the variety of it,
absolutely
carrying it all.
And that is a nice little segue into the next little point we're going to say just before we get into the main topic. But talking about carrying the industry and about the big boys not really reading the room, like this week, Xbox president Sarah Bond recently appeared on Mashable, just discussing the rogue Xbox Ally, and seems to have confirmed that big pricing may be in the future for the next gen Xbox. So she was asked about rumours that the next Xbox is going to be more akin to like a PC gaming hybrid. What she said, and I quote, "I can say you're right. The next gen console is going to be a very premium, very high-end curated experience. You're starting to see some of the thinking we have with the next gen console with the Xbox ROG Ally X handheld." Now, end quote. This kind of aligns with the leaks that we saw from Moore's Law is Dead, who's a prominent leaker who recently got the scoop on the PS6 and more on his YouTube channel. Worth checking out if you're into that stuff. And he commented that the next gen Xbox is going to be more of like a entry level PC competitor as opposed to directly competing with Sony in that console space. So it's likely to be priced anywhere from around $800 to $1,200. My take to start, Scott, and you're talking about indie games carrying it, right? And we need that because they're less expensive, they're fun as all hell, they're innovative, they're doing everything that we gamers want. And did I mention cheaper? Because I need to say that twice then. But my take on this is just Bishop Bullwinkle, like hell to the no. Like this absolutely
Fuck's that?
cannot. Like I just don't see how this is sustained. Like Xbox effectively are just like, you know what, we'll fuck the consoles, right? That's it. What we're going to do is try and sit in that hybrid space. There's no such thing as a hybrid console or gaming PC, right? It's you're either a PC or a console. I don't know about how you fit in between, but they're trying to have their cake and eat it and be smart about it. And I think that's them still trying to get that hardware space. Could be wrong. It's all very much rumour, so you've got to take this with a pinch of salt. But that price, man, and we knew it was coming. We need indies more than ever now because it's not just the price of the consoles, it's the games on top of it. You lump on, they talked about Xbox Game Pass as well, which, you know, I'm not going to have that running, as was said, in the background when there's not really much on it. I'll scale up, scale down. Xbox, I just think, are on a different planet than now, man. Like, the week after this, ROG Ally X had launched, right? And yeah, we'll use that as an example, right? I've never seen more comments and more content, should I say, related to price over what the product features itself. It seems to just be a big talking point, rightfully so. But it's like I thought it'd just be completely washed over.
Yeah,
With the comment sections, it's just
not even just comments about the price of it though. It's a lot just to do with Xbox's strategy at the moment. Like it's people coming out and trying to justify the fact that they are abandoning the strategy that they've had for the last 20 odd, 30 odd years. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how old the Xbox is, right? But you know, a long time. And it's fair enough. If you want to abandon that, then fucking abandon. Do you know what I mean? Like, give up on Halo. John Halo can die in the corner, but
John Halo.
it's just I just don't know them anymore. I think I said to you this afternoon, I was looking at the prices of it because Ninja Gaiden 4's on there on Game Pass. Outer Worlds 2, now that I'm the biggest Outer Worlds fan on earth, you know, I will play that. But it is just very much like looking at that number, $22.99 on my screen. I was like, that's just the jump from the different tiers of it. It's like that's fucking disgusting. Just to see that number on the screen is the most egregious thing on earth.
I know,
But
it's a lot.
It's just been one thing after another with them. Like it's almost like that Krusty the Clown meme where they get you, but it's like stop, he's already dead. Do you know what I mean? It's just Phil Spencer in a corner, but they're all just fucking laughing at the bank at it because people vote with their wallets, and we're seeing people buy the Xbox ROG Ally X and stuff, and I've not seen anyone talk about it really, like anyone normal, anyone human that's not been handed this fucking thing. I know Alex bought one, but I've not seen anyone actually talk about it in any other way. It's just very much been like, it's there and that's it.
I mean,
obviously the whole hassle where you can't play games that what was it, Xbox console games or something like that on it, or it's only plays PC games or some shit like that.
Game Pass PC, but I think you can still stream the console ones via Xbox Play Anywhere.
It's pretty shite though. The fact that Xbox, or was it Sarah Bond or something like that, came out and said that the price of it is the price of it because of AMD. It's not Xbox's fault. It was them that set the price. Fair enough. Fair Asus or whatever it is. Bollocks like that. It's just when does the good news come? Do you know what I mean? Like, and the good news is, Liam, that next year, beginning of next year, when they deliver an Xbox showcase and show us of all these games, all sins are forgotten.
Well, they will also drop the tease for this very expensive new console.
Yeah.
So one step forward, two steps back, and that seems to be the vibe. I mean, look, all I've heard on the ROG Ally X front, not so much the ROG Ally, but the ROG Ally X front is that this is a very impressive and very powerful handheld. If you're into the handheld space, you've got to view it as an investment over the next few years, whilst the Steam Deck and its compatriots are kind of getting not weaker, but they're just getting more dated. Steam Deck's 3 years old now, whereas if you're interested and that's what you want, that's probably going to pay off in a few more years' time. Whereas a Steam Deck, it's like, we'll pick that up if you're wanting ease of use, if you're wanting emulation, that type of stuff. For me, if we are going into this future where these console manufacturers are getting closer to PC, I would at that point just be like, well, we might as well just go full hog and become PC gamers at that point. Like, why would I lock myself into something that's a half step towards that, where I might as well just go into full PC gaming and have
when
complete
it's all there in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, you're seeing people play God of War on this fucking thing. It's like, okay, like, I'm with you. Why dip a toe? Just fucking jump arse in.
We're not going to spend like £1,000, right? If it's like $1,200 bucks, right? Dollars, however you want to say it. Smack your knees. If it's £1,000 on any console, like, I mean, it was hard enough. The PS5 Pro was a tough enough sell, but that was with the hustle.
Yeah.
And we are going to always bring this up because it's in the news this week, so that's why it's a talking point. But I just want to bring it up because it's, we've got to dial back. I always put myself, as I mentioned there, with Jurassic Park Evolution. And back then, it was like, I was so glad that I was mid-generation. A console would have come out at that point. It's like, I'm a balls buying that because I've got to get food on the table first. I've got to get the important shit in life out the road. And that's what I'm saying, they're not reading the room. And it's not like you have to buy it, but I feel like this industry is kind of built on the backs of the vast majority of more casual gamers. And I don't want to see a future where console gaming gets eroded, and I want console gaming that needs to be substantially cheaper than PC gaming as an alternative. That's the point. It needs to be simplicity at the core and the cheaper prices, again, as I mentioned. Like, we're just getting away from that a bit, and it's because everything's going up. It's not just video gaming, it's the things that you don't need to have
but
that are
Liam,
going up.
You also have to remember that we're looking at a future where our kids could want one of these fucking things.
That's what terrifies me. It's already happening. My son wants a Switch too. I'm like, well, you've got one? They're like, well, you don't have one. I have one. But, and then you start getting that conversation. But it's, I just don't want to, you're bang on the money, because if you're like us and the kids are getting older, or if you're listening and your kids are older, they may be asking Santa for a ROG Xbox Ally X, God forbid, or a PS5 Pro. I think we did that last year. We had our kind of Christmas buying list, and we went and interviewed the younger members of the family, because they're all different ages, to see what is it you guys are wanting in terms of gaming stuff. And I remember my youngest nephew, he did mention the PS5 Pro, because it just come out. I was like, oh, right.
No, you're not
getting that, because it was like, that's steep, man. That's real estate. But I mean, I know that's just the way of it, because if it's not that, it's an iPhone, which is £1,000, or it's an iPad. It is just, technology is expensive. It's the way of it. I am appreciating every moment I have now whilst to still ask for toys. But I know my son's radically getting there. Like, and he's only 5. And he did mention a phone the other day, and I was like, absolutely fucking not. Like,
who are you phoning?
Exactly. You'll get a phone when there's at least 2 digits in your age. You know what I mean? I didn't get my first phone until I was about 13.
I was having a conversation about that the other day, and I had one of the old orange phones. It was like a blue orange phone. I had an aerial hang on top.
Oh, staunch.
It was like my I think it was my sister's, my brother or sister's, and I had that. Used to have to go to the orange shop to top it up.
Yep.
Get a top up card. But the one phone, because I spoke about this on the day, and I just have to bring it up. The moment where I peaked as a human, genuinely peaked, was when I got a Sony Ericsson.
Oh yeah,
but it had the Walkman on it.
Yes, I don't.
And I just remember ruining my laptop at home on LimeWire, trying to download allegedly music. And every single time you downloaded something on LimeWire, you would always end up with a random Judas Priest song. Every single time. Or, multiple variations of songs from System of a Down or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It was almost like something completely different. But what a life! I genuinely used to take my Sony Ericsson with its weird headphone jack into school with me every single day, and I loved it.
Oh, it was
I
great. It was great.
loved it. It was a brilliant piece of kit. And now we've just got all of our fucking music dealt with by Spotify, who
Well,
are the
spoiled.
worst.
Well,
The
spoiled by it
worst.
though. They are the worst in terms of what they give artists back. But I mean, I remember going into high school with a PSP,
Mhm.
and playing that, like Pro Evolution Soccer on that, religiously, like in the library, I remember. But it was just like, this is amazing. And then you realise it's a UMD, it's a disc. So if you try to play it in the bus and there was like a bump, it would actually skip a wee bit, like
Yeah.
the old CD Walkmans used to. And I wonder if kids now, if they're cutting into school with like a Steam Deck or a Switch 2 or a ROG Ally, you know what I mean?
I
Like
wondered if they are actually, aye.
taking their mum or dad's ROG Ally X into school. You know what I mean? Dropping that off the bollocking you would get. I mean, and that's the thing. If you were a teenager, you would chance it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, can I get one of them? And that's the thing. Like, it's these things just can't always. They can't become something that's just for super rich and influencers only. Just getting free models. Like, there has to be that middle ground. Even if it is, I'm not saying they can't be expensive, but they can't go into a level of expense that is just silly. You know what I mean? It should be anybody working class should be able to still save up their pennies and get it, rather than it being something which is quite ludicrous. You know what I mean? And that's just my thoughts on it. But we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, we're going to find out. Well, no point crying over spilt milk. Nothing's happened yet. The only thing that has come is the ROG Ally X, and I tell you, I would take one for free. But I ain't justifying that, man. And don't get me wrong, I was like, the social media algorithm demons were at work last weekend, man, because it was like YouTube, TikTok, everything was just, every second video was all on that. But see, to be honest with you, if I was going to go into a PC handheld, I'd probably just go Steam Deck as
Yeah.
opposed to that, because it's not something I would play. But in terms of my handheld needs just now, Switch 2 is ticking all the boxes, man. And as a parent as well, if you've got wee ones and you're on the fence of what to buy, what not to buy, Switch 2 is great because it has all that family gaming potential. You know what I mean? So you mentioned, Scott, you've still got like Donkey Kong Bonanza and that to play. Perfect games to play with the wee one. And they also have some co-op options as well.
Indeed.
But I think we should move on to the main topic this week, Scott. But before we do, again, if you enjoy the show and you want to support us, you can, and it won't cost you a penny. So join our free Patreon community. Visit patreon.com/Pixel Parents for every show, chats, and bonus shows, including Side Quests with Scott, free all the time. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Just visit youtube.com/@Pixel Parents Podcast. We'll have updates on our Patreon next week, where we've got some new shows and free stuff lined up for people that are on there. So you want to get ahead, go join us on there. Now, Scott, time to go on to the main topic this week, man. So this week's one is called Game Genres We've Grown Into and Out of. So over the years, naturally, we've both surprised each other, I would say, and ourselves at becoming big fans of gaming genres that once upon a time we weren't too hot on, to say the least, and vice versa. I thought it'd be a good idea for us to talk about that. List them. Let's talk why. Let's take a little deep dive, as we like to do in this show, Scott. I want to kick things off though, just to start. What was our go-tos in the past? And I'd probably say over the past a decade ago, say pre-becoming parents.
Oh, you asking me? I thought you were saying you were kicking us off.
Oh, no, asking the ghost behind
Eh,
It's Casper.
I mean, if you're talking about a decade ago, at 24, what were we playing? It was probably fucking like Call of Duty or something nonsense like that.
Yeah.
Or I was deep in the depths of, well, what console was it? The 24. So
10 years ago, you're talking the tail end of PS3 and PS4.
PS3, PS4. So I was probably big. I was
No,
probably starting.
PS4.
Yeah,
PS4.
I was probably sort of starting to fall into more getting back into games like FIFA, for example, or playing Call of Duty a lot more than I previously had. games like, kind of things like Uncharted, things like that.
Yeah.
Um, The Last of Us had made the impact already. Um, and you know me, Liam. I was always into stealth games and stuff as well. But you know, playing through the Metal Gear Solid franchise, having that available on the PlayStation 3 sustained me for many years. So those were probably the mainstays of
Yeah.
Scott Curry, the pillars that held up the body of Scott Curry. But there was starting to, and this is why I actually really wanted to have, I really would like looking at the notes today. I was really excited to have the conversation because it was
Uh-huh.
the building blocks were starting to be placed of other genres that were starting to
Hmm.
meld their way into my being, and the reason why I'm now 34 in the way I am today.
What age did you say, Drew? Just one more
34.
time for the listeners. That's right. He can't slag me anymore, folks. He's getting old as well. You're right, though. The building blocks 10 years ago were certainly there. I mean, before you go on, I'll join in with my go-tos. 10 years ago, PS5. I mean, I'd just bought a house, actually, 10
Yeah,
years ago. Yeah, so PS4, you're right, online gaming and stuff like that was something that at that point we were in a pump, because we had the time, but we had the new console at that point. PS4 was only a couple of years old. The go-tos, really, yeah, I'd say like, sports games was good in terms of chewing gum because I had more time. It was something it was good to unwind with. But I think for me, it was always the third person action adventure was
yeah,
always the go-to. If it was third person, that I'd be there. It had to have a decent narrative. It had to have some type of cinematic quality. You mentioned the likes of Uncharted or that, but even shooters in general, Gears of War and all that would be kind of ones that I would kind of lean towards. Anything that was like tactical based, I'd dabble, with like Rainbow Six and stuff like that back in the day. Ghost Recon, should I say, as well. Um, Anything that was more like Western RPG as
yeah.
well was always a big go-to for me. So like I'd still be like chipping away at the likes of your Skyrims, etc. back
Skyrims.
then.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely love that. Anything fantasy based, Witcher 2 would also come to mind. I think we're
Mhm.
on the eve of Witcher 3 as well, about 10 years ago. So I mean, that was where I was at. And I suppose that does lead into as you're going to go on to now the ones we've kind of grown into, the building blocks. If you kind of look at all that, where would you say it's kind of led to for you?
I mean, I think you can trace the line, the moment where the switch flicked
Mhm.
in Scott Curry, and it was on the PlayStation 3 when I started to play Final Fantasy for the first time.
Yeah,
With Final Fantasy 13 getting into like JRPGs, probably the loosest JRPG, to be honest with you. This is probably the most Western JRPG at that time,
mhm.
and in the ways the characters were portrayed and stuff. But um, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with that game, but starting to fall in love with JRPGs, RPGs in general. Moving into other things like that, playing Dark Souls for the first time
Yeah, yep,
was and I can trace the moment. I can remember sending you the text with Dark Souls in hand,
yep,
taking a picture of it. Like I remember seeing that happening. So moving into like Souls, like with Bloodborne and stuff like that as well. And then starting to, I'll play COD with you, Liam. I
mhm.
will. I
Yeah.
hate every moment of it. I hate it. Like I don't get the enjoyment of playing COD the way that you do because you are good at it and you fucking you play it for the love of the game.
Well,
I,
I don't like to brag,
you
but
do you do though, and I play it to be an arsehole. Like I'll run about with a knife and stab people, or recently I tried to take people as human shields because it's funny as fuck. Like it's great.
you're surprisingly successful with that. I
Oh, I
should add
mean,
as
I mean, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but
well.
like when you're talking about things like that, it's changed with that, but it was I'd say that becoming the big JRPG fan has led me to this path. Um, Dark Souls RPGs in general, things like Baldur's Gate, and,
Yeah,
and kind of in the last few years especially. I would even just say the turning point on this show, Liam, on this show alone, when you turned me on to Life is Strange True Colors,
Oh
I
yeah,
think that opened up a world for me that I never knew existed.
yeah, yeah.
Now that's not to say that I'm going to go and play every single fucking Life is Strange game that's ever been made,
But maybe
but
something like mixtape would
yeah,
tickle your
yeah,
pickle when it
yeah.
comes out
But
now. I mean,
it's something that my ears prick up when I see it. Do you know what I mean? Like even things like a game that I played this week, being like that is not a Scott Curry title. It is
hmm,
not. But there was enough interest there to be like, yeah, let's try it and see.
yeah, give it a bash.
Um, give it a bash. Yeah. Um, fighting games when I was
Yeah, yeah.
younger, Tekken 3 was something that stuck with me, and it's memories of playing it with my brother and stuff like that. But then I fell off completely. I'd always
Mm.
have like a passing sort of interest in it. Even when Street Fighter 4 came out, it was always like, I mean, I could play it, but I'm shite at it. Do you know what I mean? Like Xbox 360, PS3, I'm terrible at it, so I don't want to play it. Street Fighter 5, I could feel the vapors again. I was like, right, okay, I'm getting back into this. And then with 6, Tekken 8, Tekken 7, even the kind of daft things like that, Mortal Kombat. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like becoming a massive Mortal Kombat fan when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and literally just taking the piss out of everyone with Kano was amazing. Like
It was a sight to behold. I could
it was
confirm that.
genuinely brilliant. Like I think that those are the tenets of what makes Scott Curry Scott Curry. It's
Mm.
good RPGs. It's fighting games. It is how to word this properly. It is JRPGs for sure. You know,
Yeah.
100%. And I want to say there is something else in there. There's an unknown at the moment. It's kind of a blurred vision there,
Mm.
and it's an amalgamation of games like Life is Strange, like you know,
Like more
redacted,
narrative type games.
narrative focused, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I wanted to talk about this as a side quest with Scott, but it's something that I've started to notice this shift in myself in terms of how I approach these games and stuff as well. And
yeah.
like this year alone, having played Fallout for the first time, playing games like the Outer Worlds, these are
Yep.
games that I should not enjoy or should not want to play. But it's a refining of a palate. it's
Yeah,
not
I suppose it is, yeah.
it's not the immediate disgust when you taste something for the first time. It's
Mm.
appreciating the flavour that's there. But there are also games or genres of games that I will not touch. But I want
Well,
you to tell me
yeah.
how your taste has changed.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go into. I'll talk about the ones I've grown into. I'll come back to you for ones was maybe grown out of it. For me though, similar to yourself, like top of the list, obviously is the Souls likes. You know, I much more appreciate the adventure that it
Yeah,
takes, culminating in, of course, Elden Ring a couple of years ago. But I think at first, you know, I remember when you had got Dark Souls, and the first time I'd actually heard about it was through my brother-in-law. I distinctly remember him sitting telling me about, you know, the concept of resting at bonfires and all the enemies come back and how brutal it was. And I was like, all right, cool, that sounds like a nightmare. You got it. I remember the first one, you had got it like twice. Because the
yeah.
first time you tried to play it, you're like, this is, I remember we were on the stairs at university and you're like, you had it in hand, you're just like, this is shite. Like, I need to get rid of it. And you end up picking it up again. Then Dark Souls 2 had came out. And that was the first Souls game that I had ever bought. And off the back of your hype, excitement, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go check it out. I remember buying it. Was it the St James's Centre in Edinburgh? Like the old HMV there. So I was like, bugging it. I remember texting you and you're like, right, just wait till you get to Anus Face, that one of the first giants that you fight. And I remember the game kicking my ass, not understanding a thing, how obtuse it was, the lack of hand holding, and that was the starting point. But there was something there. And over the years, it's just grown and grown and grown. And then I had purchased the likes of Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and then continually picking these games up, going back to them, and getting so far, and then naturally reaching my limit with it as to where I could go. And then it all changed. I suppose Elden Ring was definitely the one where I was like, damn, like, there's something here and I understand everything. It taken me that long to basically play these games, pick them up, put them down, even like the Sekiro and stuff, and getting so far, then just naturally having my fill, knowing when to
Hmm.
walk away from the buffet table, effectively going, I don't need to beat this right now to feel satisfied by it. I know where my limit is, and I'll come back later. But with Elden Ring, something changed, and I had grown into the Souls-like gamer, but I was able to not only beat it, I could beat it repeatedly. I knew it like the back of my hand and still do, to the point where I'm actually toying with the idea of going back. No thanks to the boys over at RKG for that, but it's an absolutely no contest, like something that I would say is like one of the top genres I've grown into now. And then getting the platinum on that and going back to Bloodborne.
We can trace that between ourselves, though. Like, we've known each other for so long that you can literally pinpoint the moment where his heart breaks in half. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can literally see it.
See it. I know, it's true. Like, I remember like that the sense of achievement you have. Like, you've platinumed Elden Ring, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. And it's like, and there's still the challenge there of the Souls games. They're more a question of if you can be asked, because you can clearly do it if you did the rest right. But even if you just have one of them, right? And at first it was Elden Ring, having the platinum and that, it felt like a total like gamer moment. So I was like, damn, like, you know, you effectively have to beat the game 3 times to do it. And then going back right off the back of it, like, I need more. And then finally you're like, go play Bloodborne or go platinum it. And I was like, you're off your head, there's no way I'm doing it. But then all of a sudden, it's like, you know, you feel like Neo in the Matrix, and the powers all start coming, and it's like, it makes sense. And it's something now that I will love. And if a game has a Souls-like quality, I'll go check it out. Now, don't get me wrong, there's ones that I have tried, and I just don't, you know, get good. I'm just not that gamer for it. Like Neo, for example. Neo 2, another one you've platinumed.
Oh, God.
The first Neo I had much better success with. Neo 2, I just wasn't good at it, and I was like, you know what, I accept that. And that's another thing I'd say I've grown into in terms of my acceptance of genres. But I've grown as a gamer, understanding you don't necessarily have to rinse it. You can still get enjoyment out of the game, and that was something that I used to do a lot as a kid. Because I was very rarely rinsing games as a kid because I was shite at them. You know, it was like
100%.
Unless I had a story. Other than that, I was like, you know what? I'll play it and I'll play it and I'll play it, and I'll just keep doing the same bits if I have to. And that's a habit I've grown into, I'd say, around the genres.
It's interesting you've said it, because it's the minute I stopped thinking about games that I've played or games that I've changed over time, I thought of the one game that neither of us, and me, Liam, neither of us have even mentioned. And it's a game that, for all intents and purposes, this is a game that Scott Curry shouldn't have even touched. And I've become, you know, I've become obsessed, Liam. And that's a little game called Stardew Valley.
Yes,
hundreds. We're talking. We must be talking hundreds, if not, you know, approaching, you know, 500 hours in Stardew Valley over multiple saves over multiple years. And it's not a game that Scott Curry should enjoy. It's not.
No.
I don't have the patience for it. But there's something about it that cozy feel and the vibe gaming and stuff, that if that game hits me right, I'm gone. I am away. And I think that that's something that has changed in me, that you no longer have to be all guns blazing all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the past, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, fucking games like that, that's just balls to the wall every single minute that you
Overdrive guitars, big bosses, gore, all that.
And like Onimusha, stuff like that. But it's like, it's not always just about that. Sometimes it is just enjoying the ride, enjoying the moment. And it's something that with Stardew Valley, I learned to appreciate a lot more myself. And since having the wee one and playing it with her, it's taught me again that there's value to that doesn't always have to be smashing things every single second. It's sometimes just taking a minute to appreciate the moment. And I tell you, the minute that Stardew Valley hits my Switch 2, we're done. We're fucking done. Witchbrook, when that game comes out, goodbye world. I am fucking
gutted for you.
Gone. I am fucking away. Forget the podcast.
That's fine. I'll use AI to replicate you. That's what I'll do. I think I've only got 2 other genres here I want to touch on that I've grown into, right? off the back of Souls, like, because I'm with you, like, there's some surprising ones. For me, I'll keep that to the end. But roguelikes is one I'd say I've definitely grown into. I used to find them incredibly annoying, but now I just have way more patience and enjoyment for it because I understand it's like, all right, you're supposed to die. It sounds daft. It's like, that is part of the journey. And one of the big games on that way to it was actually Hades, the original one, which is I actually enjoy dying. It sounds daft because it's like, you know what? I'm going to come back and it means I'm going to unlock more stuff and get to the next run. And that repetition and that sense of practice and patience in these roguelike games are so strong. And it's something that I carry through now. If I hear it's a roguelike, we've talked a lot about other ones in this, earlier in the show. You know, Absalom, Hades, Bop It, you name it. Even like it's a Bilateral last year as well. You know, there's so much of these games that have these elements in it now. It's almost become the new RPG in that sense. Like, you know, you get roguelike elements, RPG elements in a lot of these games. And Souls-likes is the perfect amalgamation of all of that. But the last one here, and this is one that has shocked me, I'd have to say, over the past few years, and that is the JRPG. Because, as you know, I used to loathe JRPGs because I found them very confusing and, to be honest with you, rotten. Like, I didn't understand the absolute attention spiraled, sugar-coated nonsense that was most of these JRPGs. And I realised, actually, it was nothing to do with the JRPG genre. It was to do with the wrapper. And it is like, if there is more of an anime-style JRPG, it ain't for me. That's why I'm not the Persona guy. I'm never going to be, right? It's just ain't for me. But games like Octopath Traveler, even ones like the more tactical flavour, Triangle Strategy, like you mentioned, they have turned me. And not to mention the culmination, the reason why he's called the Tastemaker, Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know, a game that did bore me to the point of migraines as a child. I just needed it to be modernised so that an idiot like myself could finally appreciate it. And then I can finally, you know, be shallow. I just needed it to be in 4K. That's all I needed it to be. And I can finally get and understand and love these characters. And, you know, I think just the quality and the fact that there's less headache-inducing parts to it have had a positive impact on me. And a JRPG is something that I will now not automatically rule out because it was almost like, I can't play that. Just immediately, just like, I just can't play it. I don't understand. Even though I had played games that were JRPGs, not realising it in the past. You know, go back to the likes of Pokemon as something that will indoctrinate you in what a JRPG is all about. And it's like, no, you actually really enjoy turn-based games. You enjoy JRPGs, like, getting about it.
100%, yeah. It's been a great thing to watch in real time, and it is something that the viewers, if we had a video podcast from day one, it's something that you would have seen that blossoming of a human being who realizes that JRPGs are not sinful.
Yeah, I know. That was that. It's that old Catholic guilt. Shall not play JRPGs. No, it's great, and you know, it was always a black mark, I suppose. There's always those big games that you're just like, I never really enjoyed it, and I always felt like I felt sad about it because it's like Final Fantasy VII was a touchstone.
Yeah.
For me, it was a negative one, because I genuinely can't explain it any more clearly than it did bore me to the point of giving headaches. I'm not saying that for a bit. I had tried and I was like, I just can't. It was just so obtuse for me at that age. Couldn't get into it. And the art style, even now, like, and I can't look at it now the same way other gamers do. I'll look at it as I did back then, which is I just don't think that it's quite ugly, you know, but
Yeah.
and now being able to appreciate it, and that's why I see the value in bringing a lot of these franchises back. And it might not be for me, but I know there's going to be someone like me in 10, 20 years' time who maybe doesn't like the look of the original Dark Souls, right? And they remaster it again. And it's like, okay, let's get into let's give it a chance. Try to think, maybe there's a PS2 game, or maybe it's Metal Gear Solid. Maybe it's like the original Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, and they give it the Delta treatment, and that's the value of it, because you can open the door to a genre for somebody that might just, for that reason, the aesthetic is enough to put them off. So yeah. Long story short, but I'll ask you, What ones have you grown out of, Scott?
Now, I think this is a lesser known thing about Scott Curry in his younger days, but I was a huge racing game fan.
Uh-huh.
I was big on games like Colin McRae Rally.
Oh yeah,
Loved the
classics.
Gran Turismo, um, Need for Speed Underground, and different things like that. I
Oh,
used to play them
definitely.
religiously. You know what I mean? Like, you come home from school, do whatever homework that I had, fire on Need for Speed, and I am Black Betty. Liam. I am immediately transported. As soon as I hear that song, I can see myself coming out of that garage and just seeing the song come on. Riders on the Storm by the Doors. I'm there. But as time has gone on, these games just bore me to fucking death now. Like, even if they're fun, they're still boring as all hell. Like, the last proper racing game that I played was Drive Club. Do you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
man.
I've
Oh.
tried, I've tried your Forzas, Liam. I've tried my hardest, but I just don't see the value in it. Every single time I see a showcase with Gran Turismo in it,
Mm.
I'm like, just turn it off. It's fine. We're done. We'll see you later, mate. That's not to belittle the people who do enjoy them, because there's obviously value there. People love to shag cars, but like, I just don't care. Like, put foot down, car moves. That's it. That's all. I view that in my own car as well. Like, I could not give two fucks about it. It's just like, it is a vehicle, and that's what it's there for. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
ca-
you've got the car sim, which I'm with you. Like Forza Motorsport.
yeah. Even
Nah,
arcade
for me.
recently, can he do it?
But that's it. I was never actually. I went away from racing games. I'd actually have like F1 1997 on the PlayStation. Need for Speed Underground's one that comes to mind as well. There's even ones like what was the name of it again? Blur.
Bluff, yeah,
Which is, but me, it was like kart racing. Like everybody, kart racing something different. That's not like a racing game. That's like a party game that you play,
yeah.
like your Mario Karts, your Crash Team Racing, and stuff like that. But Forza Horizon, I'll give it its due. It's a game that I just through Game Pass, I have to say, because I would never ever buy it, and I picked it up because I'm like, oh, it's just mere motorsport pish, and then it clicked. It's like you enjoy doing nonsense racing on GTA and GTA Online. That just apply that thinking here, that headspace, and it clicked immediately. I was like, right, I am literally just driving about, and it's something I'd stick a podcast on or something, and it's that type of experience. And I'm not saying that to sell it. It's just that was something I said I would grow into that game series, I suppose. Like, so I could now look at Forza Horizon, I look at Horizon 6, and I'm like, okay, I'm excited for that, but it's not something I will play religiously. I know there's people out there that is like, for me, like, um, FIFA, for example, something that I could just turn on and just forget, and it's like, right, it's like a routine. You know what I mean? It's like putting on an old pair of slippers. For some people, that is it. I mean, for me, in terms of ones you've grown out of, despite the FIFA thing, like sports games is top of the list as well. And I suppose
Yeah,
racing would come under that because it's like, it's not that I don't like to play them, I just find that I have less time for them. And
yeah.
evidenced by, I bought FC 26. I've played that for about 2 hours if you're lucky, and I've not ever had the want to play it. I kind of regret buying it, but I've always figure there's always a point in the season where I just fancy jump into career mode, and I'll play that religiously for weeks.
Yeah.
And I
It's
don't know
it's
why.
funny. It's funny you should say it, because that was my next point. To be honest with you, was
Yeah,
EAFC is a prime candidate for games that I've grown out of love with, and that's not to say that when we go online and tear up online seasons mode on the
of
co-op
course.
parts of it, it's not hilarious fun. And when we win, it's the greatest thing of all time, and it's obviously great all the time because we always win. But
No comment.
no comment. But even I have buyer's remorse every single year I buy FIFA, because I'm not
Yeah.
even calling it, I can't even calling it fucking EFC, it's FIFA. But it's I have buyer's remorse every single time because it's just a pure pain in the arse. Career mode, I love it because you can live out fantasy, but it's boring as all hell. Even when you're simming games, it's like, this is pish.
I
You
don't say
play,
I'm a madman.
yeah, but you play it, but like you play it at a difficult a difficulty, and it's like, I'm still winning like fucking 3-4-5-0. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's these games aren't close, so it's
Yeah.
not even a simulation. It's like playing old wrestling games and you go the Undertaker and last ride every single person that comes out because it's just like it's too easy. But even at that, like these games have added things that I've just no interest in anymore. Ultimate Team, you're fucking mad. FIFA Street Pish now, Volta, is it called? Like, these are things that I just have no interest in. And it's not to say that they're not good for people, because Ultimate Team makes 90 million trillion dollars every single year because people, if it's not cars they're shagging, it's cards. So people absolutely love to see it, but I just can't. I just can't do it, man. Like I just can't take FIFA anymore. It bugs
Yeah.
me when I play it.
I know it's more like a ritual for me,
Yeah.
and because it's like you buy a football game every year for like the past over 20 years,
Mhm.
and there's always a point in the season where it will be the thing that I play. It's probably going to be the turn of the year, to be fair.
Yeah.
Although based on current output, I don't know where that's landing, but because really, like Outer Worlds 2, as I mentioned, that's going to be like the big chunky game moving into the last big hoorah at the end of the year. Metroid Prime 4 and Octopath Traveler 0 on the same day. It's insane, but I digress. I'll say, here's another one I've grown out of, right? Battle Royales. That's
Oh
one.
yeah,
I
100%.
I just can't go them anymore, Scott. And I was always a love-hate relationship anyway. It's like anything else online, right? It always depends on the company that you're in. We're always playing it in a private party, so you're having that conversation. That part I would still love. So if you were like that, I want to go play Warzone, I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll jump on because at least if I'm having a bad game, I'll at least get good chat. You know what I mean? And that's the good thing. But the game itself, I just find them tedious now and incredibly unbalanced. So it's not that fun. But I still enjoy multiplayers, but the reward here is so limited. I would just say at first I really actually enjoyed the sense of survival
Hmm.
in a battle royale, kind of like, it was a little, almost like a sense of adventure. Let's just try and stay alive and get some stuff and watch you loot everything in existence. But now I just don't have the patience because you spend like 10 minutes effectively staying alive and try to hunt people down, and then you have a skirmish and you've put in God's honest truth about 4 or 5 clips out of somebody and they just look at you and you're dead, and despite all your armor plating and stuff. And it's like, what was the point in any of this? And that's where the unbalanced part, and that's the old man yelling at clouds, and it's like, just get good. But it's like, we've all been there. We've all had that moment in a battle royale where it's like, how in God's name have you taken me out in 2 hits like that when I have been sitting spraying you on target and it's not even making a dent? And yeah, that's why I just can't go them anymore. If I'm going to do that, that's why I'll prefer just put me into an online shooter,
Hmm.
because I can die and get straight back into it. I don't even think about it anymore. And that's why, that's why your man has a, 1.1.2 KD or something like that. Yeah. Positive
1.2
KD.
KD,
Just,
bruh.
just throw
When
that
it's
in
like
there.
a minus 1.2. Um, I can't really think of many more because there are genres that I flirt with. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of, like life sim games,
Yeah.
or the like Civilization. I can't even think of what the genre would be for those.
Yeah.
Um, but simulation types, you know what I mean? But where I draw the line, Liam, where I draw the line, puzzle games.
Puzzle games. Okay.
I do not have the patience for it.
Mm.
And it became evident this year. There are 2 puzzle games in my life where I have picked them up, played them for ages, and at the end of it, I'm just like, this is fucking pish. I cannot fucking deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
First game, The Witness.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember being excited. Was that Jonathan Blow? Was that his name?
Yeah.
I remember being so fucking excited for that game coming out, and then playing it, and I was just been like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why are we here?" Like, and the second game, then probably not a popular thing to say, but Blueprints this year
Ooh, not a popular
fucked
thing to
me
say.
right off. Like, I
What's
just
it?
remember I didn't even get to room 46 because I was just like, I don't care. I don't care what's in there. They could have a naked picture of fucking something that I really like, or, you know, the Declaration of Independence. But I'm just like, I have no desire to get there. It's just too obtuse. Sometimes puzzle games are just annoying, and uh, Blueprints was layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and it's just like, I just can't be asked. Shrek game, Shrek puzzle game, fuck that. Just go away. There are
Focus
people
on.
who are smarter than me that will play this game. Um, I'm feeling the same thing with Outer Wilds at the moment, where
God,
I've been playing it,
can't pass
and
with that
that
game.
that game is amazing. I love it. I love being able to. I love the exploration of it. But see this whole figuring out puzzly shite and reading notes and figuring out what's going on. I just don't have time for it. Every single time I die, I'm like, there are people in the world who are much smarter than me that will play this game and love it, and I get it. But they get that, at least that game has enjoyable moments. Blueprints was just me walking about, fucking tapping X on things to find gems and keys. It's like, fuck that, man. Like,
You've
shove that
more
up
layers
your
there,
ass.
Scott, to unfold. I'll have to admit, like, there's a point in that game, probably about 5 hours in or something, like, what the hell am I even doing? But then it starts to really, it keeps breadcrumbing you. And I've still got my notepad there, and that experience, I've everything all between the feelings of frustration, but the feelings of awe and satisfaction all mixed together. But I totally appreciate what you're saying. It's like it can, if it gets you one too many times on that frustrating note, it's like, oh, I can't be arsed with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as we always say, our time's precious. So do you really want to sit there and take notes? I mean, I was just fortunate at the time that I had a little bit more spare time in my hands, so I was able to like dedicate an evening to that and not feel like, right, it's at the expense of something else. But,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I did, because it allowed me to experience it in a way that was positive in the end. But I totally understand what you mean with the puzzle games. My last one here, just to wrap it up, I suppose, is nice easy one, which is party games. you know,
Oh,
I,
fucking
I just get irritated by them. I don't
aye.
know why, but this is why I haven't bought Mario Party Jamboree yet. And I probably will at some point, but I'm just thinking, because I'm tempted to actually pick it up ahead of Christmas Day, but I'm also like, I just can't be arsed with them. Like,
It's
I
the
don't know.
setup.
Yeah,
It's the anger. I tried to play one of the Mario Party games on the N64 Classics thing for the Wii one the other day,
yeah.
and 2 minutes it took. It was like, that's fine. I don't need to buy Mario Party Jamboree. It's also trying to get my wife involved in it as well, because it's not going to happen. Like, never going to happen with that. So, but I'm with you. See if you've got a group of actual gamers who are playing it. Best night of your life. It's fucking
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
Nothing better. Like, if me, you, Sean, and another unnamed person ever managed to get into one room together to play it, I think we would have one of the greatest nights ever. Just to
Yeah,
pish and
yeah.
play Mario Party. And I remember growing up, we used to go to my mate Stuart's house. We were still in school, and we'd go there on a Friday night, and he had a Wii in his living room. And I just remember sitting in his living room drinking rosé wine, playing Mario Party, and it was fucking brilliant. Like,
Aye.
thinking all these other people are drinking in the streets or chatting up birds, and here we are playing Mario Party on a Friday night, and nothing felt better.
Aye.
Fucking brilliant night. But with anyone else, no chance. Absolutely no fucking
Nah.
way.
Nah, I mean, I thought it'd be a good one to end on, because unfortunately, I think there'll be a lot of fellow like gamers out there, older gamers that might want to have other non-gamers or maybe less experienced gamers, whether it be kids or members of the family involved in it, and party games like that seems like a good gateway. But then it is, you're right, it's the setup of it. It's like, oh, I can't be bothered, So they might echo that as well. But I'd be intrigued, is there any game genres out there, listeners, that you felt you've grown into, ones that you've grown out of, any ones we've put you onto? Has the tastemaker struck again? Let us know in the comments, or send us an email. Anything, always lovely to hear from you. But I enjoyed that, Scott. It was good it's always good to take a deep dive and, get borderline sentimental on our old gaming habits here in this show. That's a nice cozy space. I enjoy that. But I think it's time we should move on. Which means then that it is time, of course, for the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. Now, last week's theme was Best Character Action Game, with Bayonetta becoming the latest addition to the list. And in this week's showdown, we're going to be debating the best gateway game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, as always, last week's winner goes last, which is Scott. So let's get to it. But I suppose we should start by defining what a gateway game is. And
wait. Did you? Is it say gateway? I thought it says getaway. I put the getaway 1 and 2.
No. Not that, I'm afraid. And notice, it basically has to be a game that is a gateway to another genre. You know, it has to be something that kind of leads you into something else.
I better change my notes again. I had put Baldur's Gate because it's got a gate in it.
Oh, there we go. It's the best game. It's so good to put it on the list twice. But yeah, Scott, this was a fun one, actually, because it was nearly something else and it was changed at the last minute. But gateway game, and we've all got those ones, your first, you know, something that's like, I've never played this type of game before, you get it, and it's like, cool. And I've kind of taken the approach this week of not really something that I would say is a gateway game for myself, but one that I would say is the best gateway game to get into a certain genre. And both my picks could be my pick, so I'm just going to decide on spin just now. So my honourable mention this week goes to Demon's Souls 2020 remake by Bluepoint. Now, I think if you're new to Souls games, I think this is a perfect starting point. You know, it's not overly the most difficult in the series. Still hard, but it's not the most difficult. It's not too long. I think it has a fantastic approach to its levels, and it's designed impeccably with modern gaming standards in mind. I think that would serve as a perfect foundation for your Souls-like journey, and more jewels lie ahead. It only gets better, I would say, at that point. I wouldn't recommend like Dark Souls or even Dark Souls 2. I would say just go play Demon's Souls if you're going to pick one up, because it's absolutely fantastic, and I think it's quickly forgotten about.
Yeah,
I would say, in terms of how good it actually was, because I think we need to put more respect on it. I think it is probably because it's a remake and it is done by Bluepoint as well, but it was done so fantastically well. And, you know, Demon's Souls wasn't the biggest of sellers, particularly here as well. And so there's a lot of gamers out there, I feel they might be fibbing saying that they played the original. So it's like, just jump straight to Demon's Souls. And for me, I never touched the original. No chance. That wasn't anybody's radar, really. But Demon's Souls 2020 remake, I think if you were new to it, if you were thinking, what's this Souls-like stuff they're talking about? I'm going to say you check that out first, appreciate it, and then go check out something like your Bloodborns and the gateway into an Elden Ring eventually in the end. But it's not my main pick this week. So my main pick this week actually goes to Astrobot, which I've checked the list many times, and I don't think it's on there. I'll have to ask you to check it again, Scott, as I tell you why. And if it is on the list, fair enough, more fool me. But I think this is the ultimate gateway into 3D platformers, the ultimate gateway game. I think this, without this game, right, and I've witnessed it, my son wouldn't be able to tackle any 3D Mario games the way he does now. I think there's a time before it and there's a time after. It's just an absolutely impeccably made video game. It has depth, it has challenge in there, but I feel it's a lot more simple to get into than a Mario or like a Crash Bandicoot ever could be. And it's so much fun. Like, it's everything that you want. It's that little sugar hit. You get it. The mechanics are so simple to understand. And then I think if you get Astrobot and it scratches that itch, then you're like, right, okay, let's step things up into your Mario Odysseys, your Mario Galaxies, etc. And it's an absolute 10 out of 10 game. So my pick will be Astrobot if it's not already on the list.
I don't believe it is. Not that I can find. And it's also incredibly frustrating because you have gone down this. You have approached this in a route that I didn't even think about, which is hilarious.
Have I lawyer balled it?
Not even lawyer balled it. You've actually just done it well. That's the problem. that's the problem with this. My issue, and it's an issue that I've had more and more as the weeks go on, is that every single time one of these topics comes out, there is 4 or 5 games that come into my head, and they're all on the list. Stardew Valley, perfect gateway game. Get my daughter into video games. Animal Crossing got almost the entire world into video games. I would also potentially, this isn't my choice because I don't want, the universe to come after me, but Hogwarts Legacy, I saw people that I have never seen play video games my whole life buy Hogwarts Legacy and play it, purely for the Harry Potter. But I don't want to go down that path because I can't be asked making a case for it. For me, and when you said the way I thought about this was, you started going off in your explanation as to how you came to the decision on the 2 games. My remit on this was very different, Liam. When trying to come up with games for this, I tried to think of games that my wife might be interested in.
Oh, right, okay, that's good.
It's not a gateway for people to play video games. It's not a gateway for people who already play video games. It's a gateway for non-gamers to get into video gaming as a whole.
Okay.
And there's 2 for me that I think it would have been Stardew Valley, but put it on the list again if you want.
But it could be an honourable mention if you want.
I would. Nah. I'll just go for 2 because I think they're worth a mention. The first one, a game that I only played fairly recently, probably last year, with Life is Strange: True Colors. I think that it has everything from narrative that non-gamers will enjoy, like a TV show. The gameplay of it isn't difficult. It holds your hand as you go through it, and it gives you agency to control that world that you feel that you're part of. It has twists, it has turns, twists and turns, and it also has more titles in the franchise that you could go back and play again. So it keeps you in that flow state with it. The reason why I'm not picking any of the other Life is Strange games is because I haven't played them. But True Colors feels like if you're going to recommend one for someone who hasn't played any of them, that's the one you pick. And I've still not forgiven the bad thing in that game. Still not forgiven it. Every single time I think about it, it hurts. But how do you make one of the greatest games of all time even better, Liam?
How?
You release it. Yeah, there you go. You release it. Yeah. So you take one of the greatest games ever made. You've even said it yourself, Liam. One of the greatest games ever made. And you bring it up to modern standards. It becomes a journey, a journey of all the senses. And that is a game that I think that if you showed to someone they're immediately interested in, it's a game that is immediately playable, instantly replayable, and I think it showcases some of the most beautiful moments in video games. In that game, Liam, Tetris Effect.
Oh, okay.
If I was to show my wife Tetris Effect, you always get the same pattern when you show someone. When I show my wife a game on the PlayStation, she's like, "Oh, my head!" Like as if we haven't seen moving pictures on screen before. Oh,
witchcraft!
I'm sick. But I think if you were to show Tetris Effect on that screen, the fact that instantly intuitive, timeless gameplay of Tetris, you can play that. You could show that to a AI and they can play it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The natural flow state, hypnotic rhythm that Tetris has, pacing, visuals, and then the damn music that Effect brings with it. Gorgeous. Now, if you're talking about, the best parts of Tetris Effect, why you wouldn't just pick Tetris? Why would you not just pick that game, Scott? Because I think Tetris Effect brings more with it. The music, as I said before, the fact that it's brimming with colour and particle effects, and it's a sensory experience, as I said before. It's spiritual. It is spiritual.
It is, yeah, it is.
And it's gorgeous. But the thing is, Liam, these games are good, and they're great just for the fact that And you mentioned that talking about roguelikes earlier on, but when you die, just get back on the horse, jump back on, and there you go. But with this, there's no violent mechanics. It's not competitive. It's just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride. Let it take you on that journey. Just fucking go with it, man. Just go with it. And I think that if I was to show that to the wife, she would potentially vibe with it.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I don't have an argument towards it because you've hit me. You've played dirty pool here, Mister. Which is if you put Tetris there, I have to vote for it. That's the rule. Because that is my favourite game. So yeah, I'm just going to have to go with you in that, and I'm
It's
happy to because
It's
yeah,
funny that that's not even the reason why I done it as well. I was actually being sincere for the first time in my life. Yeah, I just think that it's always interesting to try and think of what are the games that you would recommend to someone who's never played video games before. Like,
yeah.
that's a tough one.
It is a really tough one because honestly, I mean, I think even like a Balatro or something like that.
Oh,
Honestly,
that was almost a
that
decision thinking about, family and stuff, but it's already on the list. So
that is already in the list. If I did even think, Marvel Snap, but did I
oh
get that on
god,
the list? Did I get that on the list recently? I didn't.
I don't think you did.
I tried and failed. Oh god, I need to find a way to get that in there somewhere. It has to be represented.
Best Marvel card game.
Best game designed by Ben Brode, or somebody would say Hearthstone, but yeah, yeah. No, I think very well deserved. I think well done to Tetris Effect. You are the latest edition on the Pixel Picks list. That one, just in terms of audit purposes for those following along, that's actually entrant number 79 on the list. So we're
Nice.
getting there. So we will reach episode 100 before we get to the 100th entrant on that list. And then at that point, who knows what we'll do. But yeah, we've got a lot of fun and games up our sleeve over the next week. 17 episodes to go, Scott. Who'd have thought, eh? Big
17 what?
episodes of this. Then we're at episode 100.
What episode is this?
83.
Is it? Oh, fucking hell. All right,
I know.
okay. How can it be? Oh,
But
because we've done other. Right, no, never mind.
the
Shut me up.
specials and that in there, like Game of the Year and all that, we don't tend to do Pixel Picks Showdown. That will be the case again this year, so we'll stretch out a little bit longer.
Makes sense.
But it's something to do, and we can do the Ultimate Showdown. If you haven't already, you should go back and listen to one of our previous episodes where we did the Pixel Picks Top 50 Showdown, where we named the Ultimate winner of that top 50. We'll do it again, I think, with the 100 and see if it can last out. That was good fun. Absolutely chaotic as all hell. But I digress. So, of course.
I mean, I'll have a lot of moments to talk about a little game series, I think, again. Let's have a conversation about
You shall.
another franchise.
You shall. Maybe we'll actually have that type of content on our Patreon as well. You should go check it out. But that does bring us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. And remember to support small independent games media out there. So if you like what you hear and enjoyed the podcast, please share on social media and tell your friends about us or leave a wee 5-star review. It helps us out, makes a massive difference. And remember to join our free Patreon community at patreon.com/pixelparents to support the show. Test time, Scott. Where can people follow you online if they want to just chat more games with you?
Chat it up. You can obviously find us on Patreon. Find me on the Patreon, talking pish. And I'm also on Blue Sky, lamaman.bsky.social. Again, no real urge to post recently. It's all just bad news on there, but I'll get my funk back and we will start to talk shit again. Don't you worry.
Yeah. I look forward to it. If you want to follow me, you can get me on the Blue Sky as well at carmelite.bsky.social. I'll probably still be posting Ghost of GOTY screenshots, and I'll be keeping people posted on progress with the likes of Power Wash Simulator 2 and Jurassic World Evolution 3, no doubt, as well. Also, if you don't hear from me, it means that the ball pit has got me. That's also a massive risk as we head into the next week. But a massive thank you to our producer and music man, the talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. Please go and show some love. Check out his work on Instagram at Bare Hands Designs and barehandsdesigns.com. You can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms. Follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social. Of course, write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane. Thanks for listening.
Long live bop it.
Full of buzz, man.
Full of fucking buzz.